Yes. Today we're going to react to SB19 Story episode 1. If you guys want to see episode 2, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. And this is what this is all about.
Disclaimer, this video is only based on my personal research. I might miss some details and it's possible to have discrepancies, but I did my best to get as much accurate information as possible. So enjoy.
Okay. Hey! Some old school group.
This is Cult Triple, a group of talented performers and comedians from Korea you've probably never heard of. They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented. In 2002, one of the members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history.
What makes a P-pop artist? What is the definition of a P-pop artist? Is it someone who's just from the Philippines? Is there a sound? Is there a style? Because imagine if you was raised in the Philippines and you done music in the Philippines and then you moved to another country and you spent the rest of your life there, but you became famous. Would you still be a P-pop artist even though he is not from that country but he's doing the same music? I don't know, but what makes a P-pop artist? Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? If that makes sense. Let me know down below.
You remember this song?
Hey.
It all started with this man, Jong Song-han. When he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur, Cult Triple became Cult 2. Most of their fans definitely thought that Song-han's decision was a huge mistake because the remaining members started racking up different awards in the entertainment industry. If he only stuck around, he would have gotten those awards too. But this man's decision was final. He used all of his savings to build an event organizing company called Show BT Entertainment. Yep, I'm talking about Tatang Robin. Tatang noticed how passionate Filipino fans were during the rise of K-pop, so he wanted to organize K-pop concerts and events that promote Korean and Filipino culture. To make that happen, he needed entertainers, a group of young people that would be part of the package of their service as an event organizer. We are talking about people who can do dancing, singing, and even act as servants like waiting tables and assisting guests. So he held an audition and hundreds of young talents applied. 30 of them passed as trainees. They were then called Nara, which in Korean means country and is the national tree of the Philippines. They went to multiple events together, including the fan meeting event of the K-pop group called Off-Road.
I can find 내게 갈 때까지 'cause you're my lady 널 향한
This is old.
After numerous events, Tatang Robin saw something special when it comes to Filipino talent. He realized that some of his trainees were far too talented to just end up as small-time performers. So he decided to launch the first P-pop boy group that underwent strict Korean-type training. Out of the 30 trainees, only few have made it.
Alright, interesting.
Jan Paulo Nase. He always wanted to be a performer. As a young dreamer,
So would that make the person the creator of P-pop, or he at that moment helped shape P-pop? Because he hired a bunch of people and then afterwards it's like, no, they're too talented. Why don't we, put time and effort to actually turn them into a group and an artist? So is he the first person to actually shape P-pop, or is he the first person to actually, I don't know. Let me know where that guy stands in the history of P-pop. What do you guys think he's part in it? If that makes sense, let me know.
as a soloist and also a member of the K-pop dance cover group called PHP. As a trainee, he was the guy who shows up early and leaves late despite juggling a full-time job as a data analyst to provide for his family. He was the first one selected due to his undeniable diligence and leadership qualities. He is known to have critically acclaimed songwriting ability, a badass rapper, and was often dubbed as a genius, but he consistently denied it because he claimed to be just a hard worker. This made him the destined leader of the group. He debuted with the name Sejun, but later changed his name to Pablo. Now that the methodical leader is chosen, they needed more members. Tatang Robin just got a genius composer in Pablo, so they needed someone who can dance, and this next guy is exactly that, and even more. Stelvester Ajero. He was only 16 when he started competing as a dancer while studying. He was a born winner despite growing up as a bullied kid. He made performing his escape from the harsh reality of the world. He did a great job channeling the negative aspect of his life and converting it by winning multiple K-pop dance cover competitions with his group Saeyeon. He is also a hard worker. He was teaching dance to kids while competing. There was a point when he worked too hard that it threatened his life due to poor health. He is a very skilled choreographer. In fact, he's the main culprit behind most of SB19's snappy and amazingly synchronized dance routines. But little did they know that dancing wasn't even his only talent. He easily became the main heavenly voice of the group because his vocals were just
on your side.
out of this world. He debuted as Stell, the main vocalist, the lead dancer, and choreographer of the group.
Got Pablo.
Josh Cullen Santos became homeless at the age of 16, and it was his decision. He's had the worst childhood among the other members. From growing up in a toxic environment to being physically abused as a kid by their nanny. At an early age, he
You know what's crazy? I'm not going to say, I don't know if to go into detail about Pablo's life, but Stell and a lot of other pop artists usually have a rough upbringing. That's one thing I noticed, like they get bullied or they come from a rough environment and all turn it around. I always find that cool. So that's one thing I noticed. They always have a backstory, and that's the reason why I'm watching this video, to understand the backstory to how they got to where they are, because it's not like you just woke up one day, auditioned, and boom, the superstars. You know, there's a lot of work and dedication what came before that, and that's what I want to see. That's what I find so interesting. It's crazy. It helps me build a connection with people. I like it.
It's like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months. He experienced getting evicted from apartments to smaller rooms. It came to a point when his family had nothing to eat but ketchup and salt.
Wow.
They had no permanent address. Because of that, Josh and his sister dropped out of school multiple times, so they got bullied at school for being repeaters. Sometimes he would get into fistfights for defending her. Josh had enough of this.
Can't just skip past that. The person said they only had salt and ketchup. That's not food. Salt, like ketchup, where I'm from, is a sauce that you put on food. You cannot just eat ketchup. It's not going to fill you up. That is crazy. The guy said salt and ketchup. What? Wow. That is low at the low. That's crazy. Like, bread is better than ketchup. Like, that's crazy. Like, whoa.
Own hands by leaving. He became independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant. Using his own income, he took the alternative learning system and was able to finish his high school degree. He clearly had no background in performing. Not until he met new friends from the dance community, which led to him meeting Stell and Saeyeon. They became co-members and went on to win numerous K-pop dance cover competitions all over Asia. They even met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea. In a way, Josh was saved by Stell after trying so hard to save himself. And it paid off because after training, Josh ended up debuting as the lead rapper and dancer of the group. Justin DeDios didn't have to audition. Apparently, he was a very good-looking guy that when he joined a talent workshop as a teenager, Show BT immediately took notice and offered him to become a trainee to improve his singing and dancing skills. He was one of the late joiners, and when he did, he immediately saw a familiar face in Josh.
You look familiar.
Apparently, the two had a stint in performing together in a K-pop dance cover group called Zero to Hero.
Hey, welcome to my world, let's do this. 이슈 제조기라 불렀어.
Ding.
어디 가도 분위기가 higher. 비행기 밖은 너무 시끄러워.
So Justin as well wasn't new in the world of performing. He auditioned to be a part of the televised Pinoy boy band Superstar show, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions. Perhaps it was fate. He didn't have great singing skills at the time. It was only when he became a trainee that he improved astoundingly in the vocal department. He went on to finish his college degree in multimedia arts while training, which earned him a skill in filmmaking. He then got selected to debut as the main visual, the sub-vocalist, and the creative director of the group. He was the would-be director behind the record-breaking P-pop music video, What? And more.
What?
But that's a story for another video. At this point, SB19 seemed to have completed the group. 4 members in a P-pop group, a nice even number. 2 rappers and 2 vocalists. They were perfectly balanced, but they felt like something was missing. Perhaps someone was missing. Someone who could take this already great group of guys and push them to achieve the next level, the extraordinary level. Someone so naturally gifted that he could stand out in the presence of the already talented group of young artists. This venture that Tatang Robin took needed an apex, so he started the online auditions. When Josh heard about it, he was like, I know a guy. Philip John Suson is such a specimen. He was so naturally gifted that excelling in sports looked like a walk in the park for him. He grew up in a church under the care of his grandparents. He was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial cartoonist in school. Nobody taught him to play musical instruments. He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he ended up becoming a southpaw guitarist, but he later fixed it as he learned more. He didn't even know that he could dance until he was forced to in order to get good grades during their school intrams. After discovering dance, he transformed from a guy who didn't know it to someone who can fly. Because of his raw talent, he ended up teaching dance to the entire school and continued on to form a K-pop dance cover group called Amigo 7. Apparently, his group gave Josh's group so much trouble during their early competitions because they were very good rivals. So he decided to recruit him. But Philip was hundreds of islands away and didn't have the money. What did Josh do? He shelled out for his plane ticket. With nothing else to lose, Philip went and left his previous life in the countryside. He then trained with the boys and officially debuted with them as Ken, the main dancer, the bass vocalist, and the lead rapper.
Crazy.
Of the group.
That's crazy. A person who was not a dancer got shown how to dance. Now suddenly he can dance. And he's teaching the whole school. He has raw talent. He also taught himself how to play instruments. That's crazy, man. That's like me picking up, not looking at tutorials on YouTube how to play a guitar and just learning. That's raw talent. Fair play to him. Fair play. I like that.
They were an unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have
crazy.
met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with his already successful group in Korea. Justin failed his first audition, so he didn't even bother to audition again because he thought he wasn't ready. And Josh wouldn't have attempted to recruit Ken if SB19's training program didn't even exist. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the butterfly effect. When a small and seemingly insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through time, leading to a consequential event sometime long after the initial event, or as Google would put it, a phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have a large effects elsewhere. Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-pop kings. In 2018, SB19 was formed. The name of the group was carefully picked.
2019.
The number 19 is the sum of Korea and the
They've been out for
Philippines area
ages.
code digits 82 and 63. So 8 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 is 19. SB doesn't only mean SB19. It is all about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry, which is fearlessly represented by this praise. Soundbreak.
That was dope. Like, first of all, go and subscribe to Chuck, I think his name is, his YouTube channel. That was crazy. And if you guys want to see a part 2, give it some likes, comment down below, and let me know what you think if you haven't seen it. You guys have probably all seen it way before I've seen it. So, yeah. It's myself, Low Life Curtis, and peace out.